Jessica is a passionate advocate for environment. She has a master's degree in geography, and she is currently a student teacher of geography and English. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Jessica Ross.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me, and thank you for joining in. That was such beautiful singing. Well done, Monique. It's really beautiful stuff. I'm going to start sharing my screen. Okay, can you all see?
Yes.
How are we doing?
Perfect.
All okay. Okay, so before we get into what Ecobricks are, I would just like to walk you through what your everyday routines probably are like, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. Okay, in the mornings, after waking up early, you make your way to the kitchen where you pour your breakfast cereal into a plastic bowl. Your cereal most likely comes packaged in a plastic packet inside a cardboard box. You pick up the plastic milk bottle and pour some milk into your cereal. Afterwards, you brush your teeth with a plastic toothbrush after squeezing out some toothpaste from the plastic tube. Some of you may even gargle with mouthwash from a plastic bottle, or pull some plastic dental floss out of its plastic container to give your teeth an extra clean. During lunch, you might open your plastic lunchbox to find your snack for the day. Your delicious snack awaits you, perhaps a mini yogurt in a plastic cup, a sandwich wrapped in plastic cling wrap, and if you're lucky, maybe a packet of chips or crisps, as people in the UK like to call them, or even a chocolate wrapped in a shiny plastic wrapper. When you're thirsty, you may take a sip of water from your plastic water bottle. When you go back into the classroom or your office, for those of you who are out of school already, you write with plastic pens and use plastic highlighters and plastic rulers, which you probably keep in a plastic pencil case. When you arrive home, it's time to make dinner. The vegetables that have been brought from the shops are probably wrapped in plastic, and they may even sit on a bed of polystyrene. The meat you're going to have for dinner, possibly either chicken, beef, or fish, is also wrapped in plastic. And in the case with boxes of fish, although they look like cardboard, they're actually lined with plastic. So what happens to all this horrible plastic once we throw it away? If you're lucky enough to live in an area where rubbish trucks collect your black plastic bags from your house, your rubbish probably ends up in a nearby landfill. However, landfills have a limit for how much rubbish can be dumped at the site. In South Africa, roughly 90% of our waste ends up in landfills. However, our landfills are quickly filling up, and some have even reached full capacity already. It may seem quite overwhelming once you start thinking about your daily habits, about our almost unthinking dependence on plastic products. It may begin to seem that we are stuck in an unsustainable loop of consumption and disposal. Thankfully, there are lots of little things that we can do in our everyday routines to stop adding to this plastic problem. The great thing is that these little things can all add up to something massive if we all start today. I'm sure most of you are aware of the reduce, reuse, recycle strategies, but I thought I would just mention them briefly because they are an effective way to mitigate plastic pollution. The best way we can help our environment is to stop buying so much stuff. If we buy less stuff, then we will value what we already have and therefore throw less stuff away. Now, I'm not saying that we should never buy anything plastic ever again because that would be impossible. What I'm saying is that we should rethink the way we shop and put careful thought into what we buy. Next time you're out grocery shopping, try look for fruit and vegetables which aren't packaged in plastic and buy those instead. Another great way we can reduce our impact on the environment is to repair and reuse the things instead of throwing them away after one use or when they break. Instead of throwing jeans away when they tear, for example, why not mend them? And remember, while eco-friendly reusable bags are best when you go out shopping, you should try, you should still reuse your plastic shopping packets that might be lying around your house instead of throwing them away after 1 or 2 uses. When we can't avoid buying these things packaged in plastic, we can help the environment by recycling this plastic. We can recycle lots of things: tin, newspaper, cardboard, and lots of different types of plastic. When we send these things off to be recycled, the idea is that they will be squashed and cut down into small plastic pellets called nurdles, which can then be melted and molded to make other plastic products like park benches, like in the picture that you can see there. I am currently a student teacher at a high school where there is a system in place where students bring in clean milk bottles from home. These bottles are then given to the local SPCA, which is the Animal Anti-Cruelty League, who then use these plastic bottles. They sell them to a local company who then make these park benches that you can see a picture of here. Okay, so in order to recycle properly, you must always check the product label to see whether the plastic can actually be recycled. Some types of plastic can't ever be recycled because the process might be too expensive, or the plastic may have already been recycled too many times, and it may become too weak and thin after another round of recycling. These plastics must be put into a bin for general rubbish. Or you could choose to not put any more plastic rubbish into landfills and instead put your rubbish into an Ecobrick. Over the 2 years it took me to write my master's dissertation, I would often be asked, "What is your research topic on?" And when I replied that it was about Ecobricks and the impact they may have on environmental responsibility in children, I would often get a polite, blank smile and be asked, "What on earth is an Ecobrick?" I have heard that some participants here, like those in India, have actually made Ecobricks before. But for those of you who haven't heard of them, an Ecobrick is a plastic cool drink bottle that has been stuffed full of clean and dry plastic, and it is heavy enough to be used to build things like benches, tables, and even schools. Making Ecobricks is an excellent way to take personal responsibility for the plastics we consume every day. I'm going to show you all a quick demonstration on how to make an Ecobrick. The first thing you need is an empty 2-litre plastic bottle. I found that the 2-litre size is the best shape, as it's the most universal shape. With the smaller ones, you get sort of different sizes and widths and all that. So the 2-litre offers the best universal shape for building and using them. Another important thing you need is a stick that is long enough to go down to the bottom of the bottle so that you can squash the plastic. Now, all you do is that you collect plastic that you use around your house. If it's a bit dirty or like a chocolate, you might have a bit of melted chocolate on it, you just wipe it and let it dry. And you want it to be dry and clean so that the mold doesn't build up in the bottle. So all you do is you cut it up into a manageable size, put it at the top, and you squish it in. And you squish it right to the bottom. Okay, until you eventually get the end result. Okay, it's really quick and it's quite therapeutic too, once you start squishing them in. Okay, so it's important to remember that only plastic should go into your Ecobrick. No paper, cigarette butts, batteries, sand, stones, fabric or food. Your Ecobrick is finished when it's unsquashable, so you can't actually squeeze it and it doesn't have any spaces inside it. And it's filled right to the top with the bottle cap screwed on tightly. The ideal weight of an Ecobrick is between 450 grams and 650 grams. and an Ecobrick, a 2 litre, once it's fully filled, it actually holds the same amount of rubbish as 2 big black plastic bags of rubbish. So it's quite a lot, quite a big volume that you can fit into them. Now, after all that, you might be asking, so what do you do with an Ecobrick? There are several methods of construction that can be used to create Ecobrick structures. The chosen approach depends on the type of project and the resources that are available to the person or people making Ecobricks and building with them. Short-term projects refer to small-scale designs like stools and tables, where Ecobricks are bound together in a temporary arrangement with either silicone or adhesive tape, like just sticky tape. One of the easiest and quickest ways to build with Ecobricks is to make something called a Milstein module, which you can see in the picture. It's a unit held together by silicone in a hexagonal shape to create raised portable surfaces that can be used as tables or bed structures. The hexagon Milstein module, seen in the picture, another modular unit used for short-term Ecobrick applications is the Deleman Module. At least 16 Ecobricks of the same size are stuck together with silicone to make a block. Okay. The Ecobricks are arranged in a roughly rectangular shape, and 14 of these 16 Ecobricks form like 2 conjoined hollow flower shapes, and these are glued together, and the final 2 go into the middle of these flowers, as you can see in the picture. So they actually form almost like a Lego block, you know, with the little bumps, so you can build with them. So once your little 16 block Deleman module is stuck together, you can make a couple of them and you can build with them. Once you start building with Deleman modules, you don't need to stick them together. So they offer quite a nice way to just build with them and then take them apart once you don't need them in that configuration anymore. You can see in this picture that this person's made a fort out of them. They can be used to make tall structures like walls and inside playgrounds like this. And as I said, you can just take it apart once you don't need it anymore. Long-term applications refer to large-scale designs where Ecobricks are used as an alternative to traditional building methods like bricks and cinder blocks. Ecobricks used in these applications are arranged into structures and covered with earth to bind and protect them from the elements like wind and rain. Long-term Ecobrick projects are beneficial as they provide a long and lasting and practical way to protect plastic waste from degradation by creating structures that are typically permanent, such as retaining walls, raised garden beds, and frames for buildings. In 2016, Ian Domasa, who is a South African architect, landscaper, and the co-founder of the Ecobrick Exchange, which is an NGO based in South Africa that works with communities to develop communities through Ecobrick building. So in 2016, Ian Domasa was commissioned by the Angamara Luxury Safari Lodge in Kenya to create a vegetable garden. During his time there, he introduced the Ecobrick to the lodge staff, who embraced the concept and collected plastic waste from the lodge's kitchen. Guided by Domasa, who has extensive experience in creating Ecobrick structures, the staff built multiple raised garden beds in the vegetable garden lodge. The vegetables and the herbs grown in these raised garden beds, they were harvested and served to guests at the lodge. And you can see a picture of them there. And the reason that you can see the little block of Ecobricks, the little window, is so that the visitors to the vegetable garden, so the visitors from the lodge, they can go see the Ecobricks and they can ask questions and learn about the Ecobricks and why they're necessary to make. So it almost starts a conversation. In the second photograph is another one of Ian Domasa's Ecobrick projects. The Ecobrick This Ecobrick wall that you can see being built here is part of the newly built Early Childhood Development Centre in the impoverished township of Delft, which is in Mitchell's Plain in the city of Cape Town. The success of the Ecobrick project is said to rest on a combination of community involvement in making the Ecobricks and environmental education for the youth in the community. So what happened was Ian Domisa came into the community and got the community involved with making these Ecobricks. So all the Ecobricks you can see in this picture are made by community members, from the children right to the grandparents. So everyone got involved, and the plastic that has been used to fill the Ecobricks is from within the community, so from the streets, from homes. So it almost served as a form of environmental education in that community, and it was incredibly successful. That's what it looks like today. You can see the finished product of what one of the Ecobrick walls at the center looks like. You can see how effective the star shapes are, which is just the bottom of the bottles. Allowing the Ecobricks to remain exposed in the structure allows visitors to the center to see them and to ask questions. And this sharing of information could potentially trigger people to make their own Ecobricks and to develop their sense of environmental responsibility. Okay. While Ecobricks are a great way to divert plastic away from landfills, they should not be used as an excuse to just keep consuming plastic, thinking it's okay if I buy these vegetables in plastic because I can just fill my Ecobrick with it. No, this is not the idea of an Ecobrick. Its underlying idea is to make you aware of just how much plastic you use. For anyone who has had experience in making an Ecobrick, they will know that the physical act of collecting empty plastic bottles and the soft plastic to put inside of it is enough to completely radicalize you to the point where you actively choose to not depend on plastic so much in your daily lives. From my own personal experience, collecting my household's plastic waste for Ecobricks has completely radicalized my mother, who now says she is both an eco-warrior and an eco-warrior. This is because making Ecobricks has developed within her a devotion to sustainability and an environmentally friendly lifestyle. This is to the point where she has developed a deep concern and a sense of responsibility for the state of the environment. I felt so passionately about this effect that Ecobricks can have on a person's sense of environmental responsibility that I thought that it would be interesting to see through my dissertation research whether the results would be similar in primary school age children. For my research, I chose 3 primary schools in Durban, each with a differing level of environmental awareness. The first school I chose for my research was Kloof Senior Primary School, which is located in a generally middle-income suburb. This school has an ongoing environmental education program called Eco School, where the children participate in extracurricular activities like planting trees, picking up litter on beaches and in the parks, and just generally learning about the environment. In addition, sustainability is emphasized at any opportunity in the classroom. As a result, the students at Kloof Senior Primary are all mostly aware of the importance of sustainability and are all mostly environmentally responsible. The second school I chose for my research was Westfield Senior Primary School, which is also located in a middle-income suburb. However, this school does not have an environmental education program, but there are ongoing recycling initiatives within the school. For example, students at Westfield Senior bring newspaper and plastic milk bottles to the school on various days of the week for their recycling initiatives. As a result, these students at Westfield Senior Primary are generally environmentally responsible, and they're mostly quite aware of the importance of recycling. The third and final school that I chose was Sherwood Primary School, which is located in a middle to lower income suburb. Some of the students live in the lower income suburbs that surround the school. While Sherwood Primary does encourage students not to litter and to recycle paper and plastic, there aren't any firm initiatives in place within the school that actively teach environmental awareness, like these eco-school programs in Kloof and the newspaper and tin recycling at Westfield Senior. Within these 3 schools, I was invited to conduct my research with the grade 5 students, all roughly between the ages of 10 and 11 years old. I presented a talk on Ecobricks, where I told them what they are, why they're necessary to make, and how to make them. I then challenged the students to make as many Ecobricks as they could within a 6-week period. And I tempted them with a prize of donuts, just to get them going, for the grade 5 class that made the most Ecobricks in that period, in the 6-week period. The challenge was positively received, and 6 weeks later, when I went back to the schools, I found that the grade 5 children from all 3 schools had collectively made almost 200 Ecobricks. The interesting thing is that although all of the students responded positively to making Ecobricks, I found that the Ecobricks had the most positive impact on the sense of environmental responsibility within the lower income Sherwood Primary School. The findings from my research indicated that the children's perceptions of environmental responsibility depended on their socioeconomic status and whether their school had entrenched a culture of environmental responsibility through environmental education programs like EcoSchool. I hope you all make at least one Ecobrick after listening to this presentation, as the process is quite therapeutic. You can get your anger out by pushing it, really squishing it down. And the process of collecting the plastic you use every day, cutting it up, stuffing it into Ecobricks, it makes you so much more aware of just how much plastic you use in a household. I hope you all try to reduce your plastic use by choosing to reduce, reuse, recycle, and to make Ecobricks. And I hope you encourage others to do the same. Thank you all so much. And I'm happy to get some questions if you have any.